Good morning, I'm Claire Murphy. Welcome to the Solo Bureau. I'm actually coming to you live from my hometown of Adelaide this morning, and when I tell you it is cold, my fingers have turned yellow. I believe that is due to a lack of circulating blood. So after this, I might have to go jump in the shower just to warm up. Later on today on the Solo Bureau, we're checking in on a story that was sent through to me by one of you to check in on a woman who hasn't been seen since last month. I have a statement from police to share about Rita Collin. But it's Monday morning and I understand how that makes some of you feel, so let's not beat around the bush. Let's get straight into it. It's June 15. Socceroos coach Tony Popovic's decision to make a few changes to the team's lineup ahead of their World Cup opener yesterday paid off with a 2-0 win over Turkey. Popovic dropped captain Matty Ryan for goalie Patrick Beach and midfielder Jackson Irvine for Paul Okonengsler. Beach ended up making 8 saves in front of goals, the most a Socceroos goalkeeper has ever made at a World Cup, and Okonengsler made an assist that helped lead to a goal. The Aussies now face the US in Seattle on Friday. The Reserve Bank will begin 2 days of talks today to determine whether the cash rate will stay on hold or not. The majority of economists are predicting that interest rates will remain on hold at 4.35% this month, with NAB economist Josh Copeland predicting the next rate decision would be a reduction. That's despite inflation remaining above the bank's preferred target range and conflict in the Gulf states due to the US and Israel's war on Iran causing economic pressures. Reserve Bank Governor Michelle Bullock will hand down the decision tomorrow afternoon. US President Donald Trump is warning Israel and Iran not to blow up the pending peace deal after promising it would be delivered on Sunday. The warning comes as Israel launched further attacks in Lebanon, potentially throwing a spanner into the efforts to end the war. Iran threatened a military response, with Trump posting on social media, "Let's not blow it." He said the attack on Beirut should not have happened, saying that Israel has the right to defend itself against threats, but the threat they were responding to was very small and meaningless. Nobody was hurt, injured or killed and should not disrupt this important process. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel will not tolerate firing into its territory after they claimed the Iranian-backed group Hezbollah fired 3 projectiles into northern Israel. It's Donald Trump's 80th birthday today, the US president spending part of it on the phone to both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelenskiy. Putin's call with Trump lasted just under an hour, according to Russian presidential aide Yuri Yushakov, who briefed reporters afterwards. Zelenskiy's advisor Dmitry Litvin told journalists that their conversation lasted around 30 minutes. The leaders discussed the ongoing conflict between the two countries and the war in Iran, as well as the upcoming G7 summit. Zelensky said in a statement on Telegram that he had a wonderful conversation with Trump. The Palestinian death toll from the war between Israel and Hamas has now surpassed 73,000, despite a ceasefire being in place since October last year. The data comes from Gaza's health ministry after 5 people died in the southern city of Khan Yunis on Sunday and 1 in central Gaza, in addition to 2 others who died from wounds they'd received earlier, just a few of the 173,000 Palestinians who've been wounded since the start of the conflict. An Israeli strike also killed 2 people in Khan Yunis on Saturday. The health ministry says women and children make up around half of all fatalities, despite Israel saying they try to avoid harming civilians, blaming their deaths on Hamas, who they say operate in densely populated areas to purposely use them as a human shield. 5 Israeli soldiers have also died since the ceasefire was implemented. Former America's Next Top Model host Tyra Banks is suing Netflix for defamation. Banks appeared in the docu-series Reality Check Inside America's Next Top Model, saying the 16 minutes that finally aired of the 3-hour interview she gave the series producers did not accurately represent her take on the show, and that the parts where she discussed taking accountability were cut, while other clips were taken out of context or manipulated. The lawsuit that was filed on Saturday claims the false narrative the producers constructed through selective editing, deliberate omission and surgical manipulation of continuous footage included that Ms. Banks knowingly allowed a contestant to be sexually assaulted on her show, exploited that contestant's trauma for ratings, and then could not even remember it when asked. That narrative about Ms. Banks, they said, is a complete fabrication, one that Netflix streamed to a global audience of millions. That's the latest news. Next, a quick update for a story follow-up request sent in by you about a woman who's been missing since May. So I just wanted to give a little update on a story that one of you sent through recently. Now, look, the request came from a business account to do with cats, and I don't want to mention the business name just in case, and the person didn't mention their actual name. So apologies for not shouting you out for bringing this story to my attention. They'd heard about a missing persons case and they couldn't stop thinking about it. 60-year-old Rita Marie Collin was last seen walking south on Woy Woy Road in the vicinity of Jeffrey Joseph Close in Carryong in New South Wales about 10:45am on Tuesday, May 5 this year. Officers attached to Brisbane Water Police District were notified when she couldn't be contacted, and both police and her family have concerns for her welfare. Now, Rita is described as Caucasian, around 165 centimetres tall, slim with blonde hair and green eyes. I will put a picture of Rita up on Substack this morning so you can have a look for yourself. She was last seen wearing denim jeans, a denim-style jacket with a black t-shirt underneath, and was carrying a white bag. She's believed to frequent the Carryong and Mount Penang areas. Now, I reached out to New South Wales Police to see if we could get an update on her case, and they advised they wouldn't be commenting on the case at this time due to it being an ongoing investigation. They did send me a statement, though, saying officers attached to Brisbane Water Police District are continuing their investigation into the whereabouts of 60-year-old Rita Marie Collin under Strike Force Raxel. Inquiries established she was last seen walking along Woy Woy Road, Carryong at 10:50am on Tuesday, 5th of May 2026. Police were notified of her disappearance on the same day she was last seen and commenced inquiries to locate her since then, as her disappearance is out of character, which has led police to hold concerns for her welfare. They went on to say that Strike Force detectives have been making extensive inquiries by reviewing multiple CCTV footage, extending public appeal and conducting land searches in the Carryong area with the assistance from the other agencies, including SES and New South Wales Rural Fire Services. Police are urging anyone with information, CCTV or dashcam footage that can assist detectives with their inquiries to locate Rita Marie to come forward and contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Thanks for tuning in today. If you do have a story that has caught your interest, or even if it's just something personal happening to you or your community, let me know and I'll do my best to follow it up. It can also be positive news. Send it all through so we can make sure we support this community and get stories out there that need the attention. Have a great day. We'll catch you tomorrow. And just one last thing. If you do have a second today and you haven't already, please rate and review the show in your podcast app. I don't claim to understand how this algorithm business works, but I have been assured that your comments and stars do help us get noticed. Thanks, team.